This middle school math teacher and multi-categorical resource teacher collaborate to teach a lesson involving statistics in professional basketball. The resource teacher begins the lesson by leading a class discussion on professional basketball.
So, somebody tell me, please, if you follow a particular team or a particular player, tell me what you know about that person or that team. What do you think, Andre?
Their position, like the points that they made each game.
Okay. There definitely is, they keep track of the points they take each game, they make each game. Anybody else know something about basketball, something about a team, something about a player?
They count how many rebounds they have.
They count rebounds? Who does that? Andre's talking about keeping track of points. You're talking about keeping track of rebounds. Who does all that stuff? Do you know, Andre?
Like fans do it, and they have like people on the sideline where they got looking at like right down the they have.
Okay, so fans do it. They buy the stuff before the game and keep track through the game, but they also have people that sit on the sidelines and keep track of all of those statistics.
The teacher then reads the class a book about basketball entitled Swish.
I'm going to start off with the book. Book called Swish by Bill Martin and Michael Sampson. Illustrated by Michael Chatsworth. Cardinals, Blue Jays, what a game. The winner goes to the Hall of Fame. Less than a minute left to play. Blue Jays have the Cards at bay.
The activity that we're doing today is based on basketball and professional basketball, which hopefully gets the students interested in statistics. We just finished a unit with Skittles where the students worked with mean, median, mode, graphing, percentages, and things with a bag of Skittles. And as they went through the activity, I noticed that they really didn't grasp the concept and needed more practice. So I wanted something that would keep their interest but also work on those same skills. So we decided to do professional basketball. This goes along with the NCTM standards for number and operations as well as statistics. And it also fits with our district standards, which in 6th grade require students to be able to compute percentages, to figure mean, median, and mode, and to be able to answer questions and apply them in everyday life situations.
The students are assigned to groups of 3. Each team consists of a materials manager, a data manager, and a math resource person.
So within each group, each person is going to have a job. And one of the first jobs that each that people are going to do is the materials manager. And the materials manager needs to get the materials, make sure that they have the materials for the activity, and then put the materials away when you're done. The next one is the data manager. And the data manager makes sure that everybody completes their worksheet and gets everything done that they need to for each station. And the last job is the math resource person. And that's the person that's going to help out anybody that might have trouble with some of the math that we're going to be doing during this activity.
The students will rotate through 4 centers in the room and on the playground. The teacher explains the centers and the responsibilities of each person in the group.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. In the room, there are 4 centers. Center number 1 is the basketball center. The directions are right here. You need your worksheet, which I'm going to pass out, pencils, clipboard, 1 clipboard per group, and a basketball. Your whole group's going to go outside. Each student shoots 8 shots from the free throw line outside and 8 shots from the various locations around the basket, like Andre was talking about, those jump shots around the basket. You don't want to make them too easy. You can't do all layups like Adam was talking about, because in the pros they don't always do that. Then the second thing is record the number of shots you make and the number you missed on your worksheet, and I will pass those worksheets out in just a minute. Make sure that materials manager makes sure that all the materials are put away when you're done, and data manager makes sure everybody records their shots. If not everybody doesn't record their shots, then we're going to be in trouble. Center 2. Once you get finished with that center, you're going to come back into the classroom. Center 2 says you need your worksheet, a calculator, your shot data, and your player data. So we're going to have to get some player data. You're going to compute personal percentages. You're going to get the mean, the median, and the mode for your player data. You're going to compute group averages, come up with the mean, the median, and the mode, and then you're going to complete your worksheet to be handed in. Center 4 is over here. When you get finished shooting your shots and gathering your information and you have your worksheet all completed, you come over to Center 4, you go on Excel, and you make a bar graph using your field goal information from your worksheet. You should have percentages of each person in your group and the average field goal for your professional team. Then you're going to make a line graph using your free throw information from your worksheet. Information should include free throw percentage as well as free throw average of your professional team.
Each group has to pick a professional basketball team and research the team's field goal and free throw percentages. The teacher shows the students how to access the website they will use to find the information.
Okay, we need to find data on your basketball player or your team. The way we're going to do that is going to go to www.nba.com. Next thing we're going to look for, once we get to the statistics page, right here, it's pretty hard to read, but right here it says team by team. That's the easiest way to go. One click on that is going to give you a listing of the NBA teams. Here's your field goal column.
And see, they're written as what?
Decimals.
Decimals.
And here's your free throw column.
And here's all the players' names.
The teacher explains the worksheet that the students will fill out as they collect data on the internet and record their own shooting statistics on the playground.
You want to start where it says name. Free throws, you go shoot your 8 free throws, you put an X next to the shots you make. So you shoot number 1, you make it, you put an X there. Shoot number 2, you make it, what do you do? Shoot number 3, you miss, you leave a blank. Very good. Then you have to compute your free throw percentage. Then you do field goals, jump shots, or whatever. Same thing. Then you have to list your group names and their percentages. And then you need to come up with your group average. You're going to write your team name. You have to make sure your team name is okayed by me, correct? Come over to one of the computer centers. Find your team. Pick 10 players. There might be more than 10 players. You just need to pick 10. Then you need to write their field goal percentage and their free throw percentage. And then answer the questions.
The students work in groups to collect their data and analyze the results.
51. Yeah.
Is it 51? Is it?
No, it's 52.
Is it 52?
Yeah.
How do you know? How come?
It's 515.
Adam, how come that's 52 and not 51?
Because it's 51? 51.5.
Yeah. So is it 51 or 52?
52, because it goes up after the 5.
You're correct. All right.
80% for his
52. Write it down. Field goal 52.
and free throws 80.
Wow. Is that the best so far? The 80?
86.
Oh, 86.
And then Minnie's is 431. Wednesday, my favorite is higher than 5. Is one higher than 5? She has to look at the one. Do you see? Ew! Is the one higher than 5? When it's higher than 5, if the one was like an 8, if the one was like an 8, it'd go to 44, make it be higher than 5. But if it's a 1, it's lower than 5, so you keep it at 42.
And what did you do for this?
Hi. Wow, 7, 3, 8. Is it 8 higher than 5? So what do? Go up or stay down?
So your average is 33.
So you plus them all together,
And then what do?
divide them by 3.
Okay.
You plus, you have
So separate, I want to, you're correct. Good job.
The teacher leads the class in a discussion about why statistics are important in basketball. The teacher also explains to the class that they will write and email letters to their professional basketball teams, explaining their project and describing their results.
What do you think the pros do with this kind of information? Why do you suppose they keep track of field goal percentages and averages and medians and modes and all that stuff? Because they probably do. Why do you think they do that? Junior.
Because after the end of the season, they'll compare it to other people's. See how
Okay, Junior. Or Jason, sorry.
who the best team is.
Okay. Michael. Excellent. We compared our free throw and our field goal to the pros, and now I think it's important for us to share that information. We don't just do the things that we do for nothing. It's important for us to share the information that we collected with someone, so we can do something with those percentages, with that mean, median, and mode, and with those averages. So what we need to do is to write a letter to the pros explaining what we did, what we found, and maybe asking them some questions.
The students brainstorm a list of things they should include in the letter and then create a rubric for writing the letter.
Why don't you talk to the people at your group? I'm seeing Barbara and Andre doing a lot of participating, and I'm not seeing a lot of other people. So talk to the people at your group. See if you can come up with what needs to be done, what we need to include in our letters. Look at Stephanie's letter. She was gracious enough to let us use it as an example. And look at and see what things you see in her letter and what kinds of things you think we need to include in our letter. Talk it over in your group, and then I'm going to call on some people. Emily.
The steps.
Does that sound familiar? What else? Nicole.
More than one paragraph in what we did.
Okay, that might be something that we're going to include in the rubric, more than one paragraph. What else, what other things do we need to include besides what we did step by step? Andre.
Why did you do what you did?
Sheena. Jason. Excuse me? What else could we use besides a picture? Graph. Chart. Now let's take these things and see if we can turn it into a rubric. And Mr. Smith, whoopsie, Mr. Smith is going to do it on the computer as we talk about it. So what is quality, if we look at the top step, which is what we did step by step, what does quality look like? Andre?
She's saying everything she did and put an exclamation mark.
Okay, everything she did. Okay, so how are we going to tell if something is maybe almost quality? What would be almost quality? Barbara.
He has all that information, but it's not in order.
Okay, so maybe it's not in order.
The students finish creating their graphs, and the teacher gives them feedback on their work.
There it is. Good job.
How do we get the graphs up?
Why is it circling the pictures? Right there, but it's not.
There you go. Where is it?
It's right here.
Right there. See where it says? There you go. Remember, one needs to be a line graph and one needs to be a bar graph.
As the students write their letters, the teacher also gives them feedback according to the rubric they created in class.
I am writing to say that I like your team a lot. We looked at your players up on the internet. We looked at your scores and filled out a paper on field goals and free throws. We tried to beat your scores, but we couldn't. Okay, now I want you to write, first we went ahead, write about how we did that. This is an awesome introduction. Now you're going to write me a sentence about how we shot the baskets and how we figured percents. Okay?
I didn't figure percents.
Sure you did. Yeah. How did you get these? Do you remember?
Chris.
Okay, so you had 3 out of 8, right? So in order to figure percents, you divide 3 by 8. And that's how you got 38%. So you're going to write about that next. Write about that and then tell me and I'll help you with the next step.
After the letters are approved by the teacher, the students type them with AlphaSmarts and email them to their professional basketball teams.